Hello my lovelies, this is Tangi from Tangi's Cakery and welcome to my channel. Today we'll be making this half birthday cake for an adorable little boy. But before we get into all that, click that subscribe button below and give that like button some love for more sweet content. Also, hit that notification bell if you'd like to be notified every time I upload. If you'd like to see some of my previous creations, please follow us on Instagram, that's at Tangi's Cakery. Alright, let's get into this, shall we? The first thing I made for this cake were the stars and the crescent moon that I was gonna prop into the cake. To make the crescent moon, I just used a circular baking pan, which just happened to be the perfect size, to make the shape, and then I cut it out with a blade. I rolled out some more of the grey fondant and cut out some stars. I have two different sizes here. Into some of the stars, I inserted skewers of different lengths and into others only toothpicks. These are gonna sit flush on the cake. I also pushed toothpicks and the skewer into the crescent moon. For the toothpicks and skewers to stick, I always dip them in piping gel first. I rubbed vegetable fat onto the fondant stars and brushed them with gold luster dust. This is edible luster dust, guys. I set them aside to dry and get hard. I have two 8-inch cakes here that I have cut in half to make a 4-layer cake altogether. One is a plain vanilla cake and the other is a caramel cake, hence the caramel filling. After stacking, I crumb coated my cake with a thin layer of buttercream and put it in the freezer for about 20 minutes. I felt my cake was a little wobbly and tall, so I inserted two wooden skewers cut down to the height of the cake to give a little more structure and stability. This cake was trickier to frost than I first anticipated. I didn't want my edges at the front to be rounded, so I had to be careful with that. It was like frosting a round cake and a square cake at the same time. While my cake chills in the fridge, let's make the little teddy bear that will be resting on the moon. I traced out an image of the bear onto some baking paper. I'm going to use this as my template to cut out the bear. I laid the baking paper onto my fondant and traced along the lines of the bear, making an impression in the fondant. By the way, I color my own fondant most of the times except for red and black, so if you'd like a tutorial on that, please leave a comment below. After tracing the bear, I removed the baking paper and retraced to make the impression in the fondant deeper. Then I just cut the bear out. Because I wanted the edges of this cake to stay sharp, I paneled this cake. I then rolled out a small piece of baby blue fondant for the top of the cake and trimmed off the excess fondant. Then I measured around my cake as well as the height so I'd know how long and how wide I wanted to roll out my fondant for the sides of the cake. I cut my fondant to the right size and wrapped it around my cake. When paneling a cake, you don't want your fondant to be too thin, otherwise it could easily tear as you use it. I trimmed off the fondant where the fondant meets in the back and cleaned up the seam. At this stage, I like to chill the cake in the fridge, not the freezer, for about 5 minutes. I just find that it gives me a better cut when I trim the remaining excess fondant. I used my smoothers to sharpen the edges. As soon as I secured the fondant onto the cake, I made sure to cut off the excessive overhang so it doesn't weigh down my fondant. I let the bear harden up a bit as well, just enough that it doesn't fluff over when I placed it onto the moon, which I'm gonna do now. Stick it out with some of your piping gel. As you can see, I added the little snout, ears, and drew on the nose and eyes. I cut out more stars, smaller this time, and pasted them randomly onto the front of the cake. Then I painted them gold. This is where my camera goes out of focus for a little bit, guys. I'm sorry for that. I'll get better, I promise. I used some white fondant to form little balls that I arranged on top of the cake to form my clouds. I also made smaller ones which I pasted at the front, in between the stars. Everything I did here was random, no rhyme or reason, just did what I thought looked good. I also used some letter cutters to write happy birthday and the baby's name on the board and painted it gold. And we are done. Let me know if you like this cake in the comments below, and if you would like more tutorials and tips on how to make and decorate cakes, subscribe to my channel, like the video, and hit that notification bell for more tutorials like this. If you have any cake suggestions, you're welcome to contact me via email. All the info is in the description box below. Alright my lovelies, that's all for today. I will see you next time. Bye!